posted by you/temporary_7. I, 21F, have been dating my boyfriend Adam, 28M, for almost 3 years now. I feel like some context is needed to accurately describe our situation. When I was 15, my older brother passed away in a car accident, and it threw me into a depression where I became very overweight. He was my best friend and meant the world to me, and losing him led me into the worst years of my life. A few months after I turned 18, I met Adam. He was one of my friend's older brothers, and we hit it off. He's smart, charismatic, and I loved his sense of humor. Adam is also heavy, but he was so comfortable in his skin that it really made me admire his confidence. I couldn't stand to even look at myself in a mirror, so this last year, I buckled down and lost a very significant amount of weight. Now, I'm even below my high school weight. I've never been this fit in my life, and I feel so good about myself. My 21st birthday was this past Saturday, and Adam and my friends had planned a party for me. Unfortunately, Adam had a family emergency, so he wasn't going to be around for my birthday. I was completely okay with this and reassured him that it was fine when I drove him to the airport. My friend Andrea suggested that we should instead go to a strip club, and I thought that was an amazing idea. I'd like to reiterate that it would have been a women's-only strip club. The next time I talked to Adam, I told him about the change in plans, and he was very adamant that he didn't want me to go. He said it wasn't that he didn't trust me, but that he didn't trust my friends. I ended up dropping the subject to avoid causing him further stress, and we just had the party they originally planned. Adam arrived today, and I felt like something was off. Something has been off since I lost weight. I kept pressing him until he finally opened up. We talked, and he eventually told me that we don't even look like we belong together anymore. He brought up an instance from a week ago when we were at the grocery store, and a guy was asking me questions about watermelons in the fruit section. It was a casual conversation, but the guy referred to my boyfriend as my brother, and I quickly corrected him. The guy apologized, said we looked similar, and walked off. At the time, my boyfriend laughed it off and didn't bring it up again. He then said something that pissed me off so much. He said, "Sometimes I wish you were still big so no one else would want you." I lost all sympathy and quickly corrected him. I told him that even when I was a big girl, guys hit on me all the time, and just like I always do, I told them I have a boyfriend that I love. He looked dumbfounded when I said this. I told him how messed up it was that he wishes I were back at the size where I was depressed and hated myself. He told me he misspoke and that I'm blowing things out of proportion. We argued more, and he ended up leaving to his brothers to give me space. I've been sitting here just making myself angrier about what he said. Did he really think I was that unattractive when I was bigger? If so, why did he date me? Did he think I was desperate to be with someone because I was so fat? I just need some third-party advice. Am I overreacting? Update 1 day later. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone for giving me their opinions and advice. It really means a lot to me. I debated whether I should post again, but I need an outlet to vent. I've been lying here in the dark, and I've read basically all the comments, so I think an update is warranted. Basically, Adam and I are taking a break, and I've been crying my eyes out for the last few hours. He came home today, and we both agreed that we needed to talk and get everything out in the open. He started off by apologizing for what he said, particularly the "sometimes I wish you were still big so no one else would want you" part. I asked if he thought I was unattractive when I was bigger, and he said no, but he doesn't understand why I'm dieting and exercising the way I am. Adam said I shouldn't have to cook 2 different meals and should just eat what he does, and he thinks me going to the gym 6 times a week is obsessive. I told him that it makes me happy to better myself, and he said it has completely changed me. Adam went on to say that all I really care about now is my looks. He said he liked my hair the way it used to be before I went to a stylist, he liked how I used to paint my own nails instead of getting them done, and how I never used to wear makeup, unlike now when I have to put some on before going out. Adam then said he knows I lost weight because I was unhappy with myself, but he was always happy with me. He doesn't understand why I feel the need to keep trying to make myself hotter when, in his eyes, I was already hot. We talked back and forth, but it felt like I was just doing everything wrong. Adam said that I don't ever want to do things he enjoys anymore, like play video games with him or binge watch movies, and he feels like I'm a different person. I have pushed him to go on walks with me or to go to the gym in the past, but he's told me no, so I figured we just had different hobbies. I feel bad because, from his point of view, I have changed, and I may not be the girl he fell in love with. I told him I love him, and he said he loves me too, but we need to separate for a bit and figure out if we're really best for each other. I didn't argue, I just said okay and let him pack his things and leave. He's letting me stay in the apartment until I can move my stuff out. I've been crying my eyes out, and everything feels like a blur. I don't know where to go from here, and I feel like I ruined my first real relationship. Second update 3 weeks later. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who reached out. Your support has meant so much to me. To get to the point, I broke up with Adam a few days ago, and I'm still trying to process everything that happened. Things have been hectic, and I'm settling into my new situation. Last week, I decided it was time for me to move out of the apartment. Adam made it clear that our relationship wasn't going to improve unless we took time apart, and as bad as I felt, I knew he wasn't going to come back until I was gone. I knew I wasn't going to be able to move all my stuff by myself, so I asked a coworker if they could help me. The only heavy things I had were basically my bed frame and dresser, the rest were just boxes and suitcases full of clothes. Last Monday, I asked my coworker, David, if he could help me move my stuff into my parents' garage. I knew he used to work for a moving company and had a truck, so I was hoping he could do it for $100, haha. I showed him pictures of my stuff, and he said he would just have to take apart my bed frame, but yeah, he could do it on Thursday, which was his next day off. I didn't have that day off, but I had PTO to cover it, so it was fine. Thursday comes, and David shows up at the apartment. I show him where everything is, and he goes out to his truck to get his tools. It wasn't more than a minute or two when I hear Adam's voice yelling, "Did you F my girlfriend?" I immediately rush into the living room and see David with his hands up, looking very confused, while Adam keeps asking, "Did you F her?" I swear, this was the most humiliating thing that has ever happened to me. I could feel my face turn red. I went over, grabbed Adam's hand, and pulled him into the bedroom. He was freaking out, asking if David was the guy I've been seeing. I told him he was crazy and that David is just my coworker, only here to help me move my stuff. He said he didn't believe me and demanded to see my phone. I told him I had nothing to hide, but if he went through my phone, that would be a deal breaker for me. He paused for a second before taking my phone and going through it. I stood there, watching him open all my social media, all my texts, and even scroll through all my pictures. It was like a switch flipped in my head, and whatever love I had for him was gone. I just felt disgusted. I told him I was breaking up with him, and he looked shocked. He started apologizing, saying he had come over to tell me not to move out and that he wanted me to stay with him, but he just freaked out when he saw me with a guy. That's when I realized Adam knows I work on Thursdays, so why was he even here? I asked him, but he just kept apologizing and begging me not to leave him. Something in me finally snapped, and I screamed at him to get out. I've been mad before, but I've never screamed at anyone like that. He just stared at me, then turned around and left. I immediately picked up my phone and blocked him. I found David in his truck, apologized to him, and asked if he could still help me. He said, of course. After we had everything moved into my parents' garage, I went to pay him, but he said instead I could buy him lunch. I took him up on the offer because it was cheaper than $100, and I suggested Applebee's, haha. It was nice to have someone to vent to who had seen firsthand how crazy Adam was. When we were done, he paid and told me I could get him next time. The breakup didn't really hit me until the next day, and even though I cried my eyes out, it felt good, like a huge weight had been lifted off my chest. To be honest, it's almost scary how okay I'm feeling about it all. Maybe it hasn't fully sunk in yet, and I'll miss him when it does, but for now, I feel fine. Thank you to everyone who's given advice and helped me. Commenter. You need to check your stuff for air tags. It's super sus that he knew to be at the house when you were.